The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another excellent edition of the Power Trading Hour. And as we get started here, it's always the same thing. Doesn't matter where each of us are, or you and me are, you and I, as long as we're here at the appointed time.
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
And yes, on your marks. So what do we have going on today? Well, we pushed up, we pushed down, we did a little bit of shaking it all about, put it in, put it out. Then we did the hokey pokey. But that's kind of it. We're pushing kind of the highs till about 145. Then one of the Fed presidents came out and decided to say that we'd never entered a recession, so we're not in a recession. But of course, that means that we can have at it, boys, for raising higher interest rates. So the market's kind of pulled back. I don't know how long that's going to affect it. Earlier in the morning, the markets were down. I think they were all waiting to make sure that Pelosi's plane landed. Then they went off to the races and started buying for fun buying. And then they heard that, and then they're all backed off now. And, you know, just like I put in my newsletter, there's a couple of reasons to make me think we're just at very strong resistance. So we got fun buying. This is the second day. It could stretch on to tomorrow or maybe even Thursday morning, but that's pretty much down. You can almost bank on a 0.5% pullback off of fun buying. I'd say it happens 75% of the time. So you're going to probably get a little bit of a pullback. Now, the question is, have we made some kind of high out here? Volume has not been anywhere close to what it would take to chew through 4,100 on a long-term basis. But on a short-term basis, lots of different stuff can happen. DJ Magic. Is it DJ Dave? Yeah, we can look at mRNA. The sacred moment. Okay, we all see things the same. So that's kind of it. Now, for other things going on in the market, we got some stocks that are probably a little ridiculous out here, but you never know. Anyway, we talked about fun buying. Nothing new in there. We'll watch to see how it comes in at the end of the day, but you only have one. Earlier in the morning, Visa got taken to the woodshed for a little while for being involved in a porn site's cash collection. Maybe that's the best way to put it. And at the heart is a lawsuit that these folks should have settled and didn't. And I don't know why. Not very smart. Now you're probably going to have a lot more of where that came from. And we talked about Google's issues on Friday. Not their issues, their setbacks in court on Friday, which are going to be pretty horrific, I suspect, just from the stuff we already know. That will become public. So the question is, are they going to settle for YouTube and Google? The number I hear on that, someone asked me yesterday, upwards of $10 billion for a settlement, because this is the Mac Daddy of antitrust lawsuits against companies. So I don't think $10 billion would be beyond the scope for them to pay out trying to crush one of their only competitor, really. Facebook also in court, new filings out on these guys. Just when you thought it was safe to go back into Metamucil, well, they got a problem. They wrote something so that a lot of hospitals could easily deal with customers. The downside, they've been stealing all the data that they can that didn't nail down. Now, generally, you could get most of the judges in California to look the other way, as we talked the last few days. It's pretty tough to get a lawsuit against high tech in California or the stock exchanges in New York. The judges pretty good at protecting their own when it comes to that kind of stuff. The downside is they definitely broke HIPAA laws, and if you don't know about HIPAA laws, you're just not cool. You're not the cool kid. Why aren't you the cool kid? Anyway, HIPAA laws are there to make sure that your information for hospitalization and health and everything else don't fly out there into the wild blue yonder for people to sell. Well, Facebook not only lifted huge amounts of information about all kinds of stuff, doctor visits, why you were there, are you allergic to stuff, what was the reason for your visit, other stuff like that, which is, well, if I did it, I'd be in jail today. They wouldn't even think about it. It wouldn't matter if I was in New York and there was a bail law that they had to let me out. They'd find some reason to keep me in. These have been some of the most viciously prosecuted laws for a long time. So the question is, just how big is this going to be? But you've got 33 of the top 100 hospital in the country that are using this piece of technology that was literally sending it all back to the mothership. But I don't think it's going to get any better. As I said, I suspect Zuckerberg selling his house in San Francisco and some of the other ones, looks like he's going to pick up stakes and head off to Hawaii, where he's probably not going to be pestered by all those pesky folks in the House and maybe the Senate asking him all kinds of fool questions about why did he violated the law. But I do digress. 877-927-6648. We still have that fun money, maybe funny money coming in before, but it looks to me like there's enough people that are pretty confident about selling into this that we may have a significant high in the next couple of days. We'll have to look. We retested it again. And as we get ready to go to the first break and we look at the volume, is it bad? No. Is it stunning? No. 7.3 billion shares on the CBOE consolidated tape. We'll be back in a minute.
Of booming inflation, where your purchasing power is eroded, there's no better place to protect your hard-earned money than in gold. Vista Gold's flagship asset is the Mount Todd Gold Project in the Northern Territory of Australia. This is Australia's largest undeveloped gold project. We are talking a world-class gold project in a Tier 1 mining district. This is a large-scale, low-cost project with significant existing infrastructure in a politically safe and friendly mining jurisdiction. Vista Gold just completed the Mount Todd feasibility study, which resulted in a 7 million ounce gold reserve in a 16-year mine life. All of this, combined with the approvals of all major operational as well as environmental permits. This distinguishes Mount Todd as an attractive, de-risk partner, ready development stage gold project. Vista Gold trades on the New York Stock Exchange under the symbol VGZ.
Are you grinding in the market, but seeing little to no return? Or are you a successful trader, simply looking to make your job a little easier? Learn to take the path of least resistance with David White's powerful trading newsletter. David White is an accomplished trader whose deep understanding of technology and the markets allows him to consistently find and share winning trades. Support and resistance define the ranges in which stocks trade. By understanding these trading ranges, David White is able to find the path of least resistance. David White's trading newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, is delivered daily before the markets open to make every trading day an easy win. Visit TFNN.com today and subscribe to David White's Ultimate Trading Newsletter for $119 a month. And try all of our newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Take the path of least resistance at TFNN, educating investors. Are you looking for a way to consistently add winning trades to your portfolio? Tom O'Brien is here to help. Tom O'Brien has been successfully trading markets for over 30 years. A frequent contributor to TD Ameritrade Network and CNBC, Tom O'Brien founded TFNN over 20 years ago to help educate investors just like you. Tom's daily market newsletter, Market Insights, is published every morning when the markets open to give you the competitive informational edge you need to succeed. These newsletters are packed full of Tom's advanced technical analysis and are geared to deliver comprehensive strategies for a successful portfolio. Get Tom O'Brien's newsletter, Market Insights, today and try all of our products and newsletters 30 days risk-free with our money-back guarantee at TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
As we come back, I've got everything on a power backup here, but that doesn't stop the internet from going out if I lose power after about 30 minutes. I think they need to replace the batteries down the street where the battery backup for their systems are for the internet. But I got a little glitch here, and we've got some bad weather here today. So if we lose you, that is what it is. It's not the NSA once again coming to take me away. But we shall see. Anyway, let's do a little history, and then we'll move on. Got a couple questions already to answer.
Then it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
On this day in 1873, the Clay Street Railroad begins operation, making it one of the first cable cars in San Francisco, making it actually the first cable car in San Francisco's now famous cable car system. And, of course, anybody that's been there probably before the last 10, 15 years never was great, always had a lot of city-style type problems, but I got to be there probably when it was fairly good in the 90s, and got to spend, I don't know, sometimes 4, sometimes 8 weeks on sabbaticals in the summer, learning about new technology. I spent a couple of summers there working with Silicon Graphics. And living on a houseboat that I rented there on Pier 39, and looking at Alcatraz, the Rock, every day. So I kind of liked it. It wasn't really my kind of town. Extremely expensive restaurants. Yeah, lots of drug use. Again, not my kind of thing. I spent a lot of time there helping the guys out on Pier 39 that had the World War II submarine, the Pampanito. And after I got done about 4:30 during the day and got back and parked, it was probably 5:15, and they closed the submarine up, I think back then around 6 o'clock. So I'd go eat dinner, pick up dinner for all these World War II vets that had been on that submarine during the war, and they were restoring it. I'd go down there and hand them wrenches and take them food, and got to be real good friends with a lot of those guys. And later on, that movie ended up being in, or that submarine ended up being in a movie called Up Periscope. So, kind of enjoyed it. 877-927-6648. What should we do here right now? Well, let's get to the market. Already in progress over most of TFNN. And the first question out here today is about earnings upcoming on mRNA. I know that they've had some bad press, mRNA, about various vaccines in children over the last few days. And I don't see a lot in this going sideways. Got no volume today. You're really talking about going sideways since to the 14th. So you've got a pretty long pattern out here that didn't have really much range. I mean, you did kind of come down here on July 28th, but that wasn't a whole lot, especially for this stock. I don't know. I'm going to say that it's going to get tougher and tougher for these guys going forward. It's probably not going to get easier. I'm betting that in the next year or so they're going to lose indemnification against their products for the COVID. So maybe the best days are behind them. Maybe they got some new products I haven't heard of. I'd looked, I think, a week or two ago, and I didn't see anything that really blew me away. But the easy checks from the government probably going to start fading away, and liability coming back, and spending time in the courtroom, as so many of the stocks we've talked about already today are doing. I don't know. The other thing is we talked about yesterday in the IBB. When has the IBB been this sideways? It's been a long time. Generally, I do not like to trade these patterns or even bet on them because they tend to break out the wrong way first and then retreat back into it. So generally, the idea is to fade the move. So if it blows up the first couple of days and goes much higher, generally the idea is to short these. And if they go lower and all the volume tails out fairly quickly, generally the idea is to go long. Okay. Oh, yeah, I love that movie. And, of course, since I've been all over that, it is a boat, by the way. Yeah, it's interesting. 877-927-6648. So we have anything else out here? Okay. Kelsey Grammer, yeah. No, I didn't meet him. Like I said, I had no idea that was going to happen. I just know that they were working on it for a movie, and it happened after I left. But I don't know. Okay, questions about whether or not we can look at AMD finally topping. We talked about this going up to around 100. We got to 192 today. Again, a lot of these stocks, especially AMD and NVIDIA, massively shorted. They continue to be on the top list of most shorted during the day. You don't know whether or not people covered before the end of the day, but you can figure a few people stuck with it if they're that bearish on the stock. But certainly not a lot of juice back here. Going back into 121 million share day on June 6th. That's at 109. Today you've got 82 million. So that light, not really. Energy is about the same on the way down, on the way up. So I'm going to say there are much better shorts. And if you're thinking about going long, NVIDIA, right? NVIDIA. They're probably much better stocks to be long, they'd really be chasing it at this point. NVIDIA kind of getting ready to probably test 190, 250, I would imagine. Now this one's up on to about 37 million shares so far, going back in and is into the candle of June 2nd that had 65 million shares. So, yeah, pretty light today. Yesterday, 50 million shares. Yeah, could you get there? I think you still could. As I said, energy's not as bad as one would think. Now, one of the reasons why is probably Intel. And Intel did have some bad news once again. We'll get to on the flip side.
If you want to take advantage of this sector, now is the time to subscribe to my Gold Report. The Gold Report is a comprehensive look at the metals sector as well as the markets that move gold, which is the currency and bond markets. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. Every Monday morning, I publish the Gold Report with coverage of gold, silver, bonds, the XAU, HUI, GDX, as well as more than 30 different mining equities. To see for yourself the types of profitable trades that are recommended within the Gold Report, sign up now by visiting TFNN.com. Don't miss out on the next great gold trade. Sign up today.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. For free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABCs, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Thinkorswim. For more information, just click the Thinkorswim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And where have those thumbs been? Anyway, we got a couple of questions to look at. We were talking about Intel. Intel had bad news yet again. And that is it's going to have to delay its next round of big-time processors till the spring of 2023 instead of, as they advertised, the 1st of October. So, yeah. As they said, I think, was it Geisner who said that you've hit rock bottom? I'm not so sure. They're certainly throwing in all the bad news they can. Maybe that makes some kind of low, but you got 125 million a couple of days ago, and that is going to get retested. And the question is, does this thing break that and then go to $25? Well, they're the gang that cannot shoot straight, at least at the moment. On the winner side of the table, certainly is pins. That was out after the bell last night, up about 12%. Given some of it back, it's at the very higher end of this trading range, which is about high 23s, low 24s. Got into that today with some decent volume. Earnings were not good. What was is they weren't incredibly bad, and everybody was massively short this. So when these guys get done shorting, my guess is it's probably going to come back to 20. You may get 2 or 3 more days out of here, as a lot of people. In the Just Say It Ain't So, Joe, for anybody that knows the Black Sox story, it is certainly a bad day in Black Rock for cereal malt beverages, with Molson Coors headed lower with volume and gusto. But I think that's another brand, isn't it? You know, since that ad went away, I really don't hear a lot about gusto. It's like vim and vigor. They went together and still do. You don't hear one without the other. But, not a lot of gusto anymore. So we're down on 4.5 million shares for the Exalted Brewing Company, Molson Coors. Looks, how do you have bad times economically and not have a send stock do well? Well, there's a lot of reasons why. People actually drinking a little less beer these days. But with a day like this, you broke the previous support at about $54. You're holding it today, but we get any pullback in the market, and I'm looking for probably 5 or 6% on the broad markets. I think that does take you back down to 49, 46. That is the June 17th low. Okay, Caterpillar also talking about a few things. The dollar not making them holla, and supply chains and troubles. I've seen trouble right here in River City. The CEO did everything out there today but start singing the song. But you would think probably with all the need to go after rare earth minerals for a lot of the Green Deal kind of stuff, we'd be doing well. But they can't deliver what they've got sold. New orders are a little bit tough. And you certainly blew up into earnings and giving at least some of it back, some fairly decent volume. Like I said, I suspect what we're getting is a good show out here that is setting up for trading ranges in a lot of these stocks back down to the previous low on 167. Okay, what else do we have? So do we get everything here? Okay. Any question on how bad this is going to be for Visa? Yeah. My guess is it's a one-day thing. I don't think that they're going to harp on it on CNBC every day. It's not good news. Oh, that's actually the wrong thing. I've got to go change that. So let's go back to Visa. You're just in the middle of this trading range. So on the chart, not really showing all that much and the volume that much. Deeply probably annoying to the executive suite, but my guess is that they'll sweeten the deal and get rid of the lawsuit sooner rather than later. You do have a high volume low back here at June 17th, and that 185.91 is probably going to get tested. Okay, Uber Another one that didn't have really good earnings, but far too many people betting on it going out of business right now, up 18%. It gets a party horn, even a bigger party horn. Actually holding much better back up to this gap down. That gap down goes back to May 4th. Came down with 115 million shares. You're into it with 75 million today. So you're probably going to come up a little late. And real tough resistance is probably right at this level. So, yeah, I'd probably start taking cash and not worry about having problems with taking the cash now if I was already long. One of the ones out here that I thought was interesting, APDN is up only 375% today. Applied DNA had some big news. This thing was, I think when I posted it, the DIN was like $2. It got up to 372 yet today. So again, a word of warning: do not be short these $1 stocks. You're an idiot to be that way. Even if you're short at 100, and how much are you going to get? Just what was left out here? Why wouldn't you have discovered your short positions instead of waiting until they go after you? Any kind of big news can really run these guys. Okay, we looked at Caterpillar, we looked at TAP, we looked at Visa. Okay, we got some emails here. Let's take a look at those. Slitspear was go for the gusto. I thought it was the other one. Go for the gusto. Okay. I do forget. Never was a big beer drinker. I could have one and I was full. I couldn't eat anything. We talked about modern era. So there isn't much there. So let's go on to the other stuff in my email. Let's see anything in the DIN. So we'll go to that. Okay. And first of all, we did NVIDIA. The rest of usual suspects. You're down on a little bit of volume today on Microsoft. Again, earnings weren't that good. I think a lot of people were getting out over the tips of their skis on Microsoft. Are they that bad? No. But my guess is this is more of a 250 to 260 stock. There's a lot of other stocks that could fall a lot farther. I'm not a big fan of shorting this one out here, but my guess is it does kind of pull back into the first week of September, maybe in that 250, 260 range. We'll be back.
TFNN has been your trusted source of analysis for bonds, metals, stocks, commodities, and options for years. And we are happy to announce that we are bringing that same caliber of analysis for the Forex market. Teddy Keckstad has 30-plus years of experience in Forex trading, commodity risk management, Forex hedging, volatility, and so much more. Teddy releases his weekly Tiger Forex report every Monday morning with elite coverage of all major currency pairs, including the DXY, Euro dollar, Pound dollar, Aussie dollar, dollar yen, dollar Swiss franc, and so much more. Teddy will recommend specific trades when the market presents them and provide updates throughout the week when warranted. For the month of July, inaugural members to the Tiger Forex Report will receive 25% off the monthly subscription for as long as they're subscribed. Just use promo code TEDDY25 to lock in the added savings. This offer is good only for the month of July, so do not miss your opportunity to save on the Tiger Forex Report. TFNN, educating investors.
Technology around us is changing every day. With so much happening, it can seem impossible to keep up with all the information. David White's investment newsletter, The Technology Insider, is designed to give you all the information you need to understand the technology that shapes today's markets and tomorrow's future. David White has made his living staying on the cutting edge of technology. His weekly newsletter will give you specific recommendations for value tech stocks, as well as entry prices, target prices, and stops to set for each trade. Dave delivers his weekly newsletters every Friday with updates throughout the week. You can get the Technology Insider at TFNN.com for only $37.50. Sign up for David's newsletter, The Technology Insider, and get an inside look at everything the technology sector has to offer. Try it risk-free today with our 30-day money-back guarantee. TFNN, educating investors.
Are China A-shares hot or not? If you trade China A-shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A-share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A-shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
And we're back. Yeah, AMTD. Yeah, if you only can get, 20, what is that? 23,500% since its IPO. That who even gets into the business for just pennies like that? 877-927-6648. You got plenty of time to get in here. Looked at Microsoft. We'll take a look at Netflix and FLX. Again, they've got one show that is incredibly good for drawing eyeballs, and that is, Stranger Things. And the rest, don't know. But half of all the people watching Netflix are watching, over the last few weeks, are watching Stranger Things. I guess the finale of the season 4 was already over. I don't know. Don't watch it. Don't have Netflix. My still worry would be you've got two big gaps out here and you get a third. I still think that's a big possibility. Again, you're probably going to get a third gap after you get two big gaps like this, about 80% of the time. So you've got to have an incredibly compelling argument to go against that, just on the odds. Now, every stock stands on its own, but there's only a couple of things out there that have those kind of numbers. The chances of a company going bankrupt are 98% after a reverse split. And this is like after the last 40 years of data. And it hadn't changed much. You get a reverse split, 98% chance the stock is going to go bankrupt and be delisted. So, you look for those and just know those are giant red flags. Those are the proverbial burning bushes. 80% is not bad for anything else. But, as we said, don't get involved in land wars in Asia, and, don't bet on stocks with reverse splits going higher for longer. AC. So we got Jim wants to know about MU out here. Let's take a quick look. You got pretty much your bounce. The big problem I have, again, like all these stocks, as we said, I don't want to be in anything that I'm only owning 100% in semis or tech in general, that I'm not playing with an option. Why China didn't do something today, I'm starting to just wait for the other shoe to drop because they're going to do something. And I'm pretty sure we're not going to like it. From their point of view, we put a thumb in their eye. I don't believe we did, but that's the way they're going to look at it. And so they're going to do the favor back. The big problem I see with China is that anything they do on a minor scale means 100 million of their folks probably go on the unemployment line, because that's about what it is for Apple's and other of these big assembly line companies like Foxconn. At a minimum, the response is going to be to block imports and stuff made in China, or even stuff assembled in China. And of course, for a great deal of it, you can go to India or Vietnam or Malaysia, or a lot of them. Even Apple has moved half of its big iPhone production to India. So there won't be no product. There'll just be less product. But they got 100 million people. And literally, if they do something, our response would be in kind, probably. And 100 million people are out of work in China. So, will they cut their nose off to spite their face with something minor? I don't think so. If they're going to go big, or let this blow over. My guess is they'll let this simmer for a while, let us all kind of forget about it, and then there'll be that Pearl Harbor moment. 877-927-6648. Okay, what do we have here? So on Micron, do we have much anything? I think everybody's worried. We'll see. Again, probably some downside, some upside in these stocks if nothing happens. And a lot of people worried about it. Probably could buy some decent calls on it. But again, I wouldn't want to be long anything in the semiconductor space, and probably overall the tech space would all get hit if, let's say, they blockade Taiwan as a kind of intermediate measure. They're going to do something, and it's probably something we haven't thought about. They've been thinking for a long time. 877-927-6648 and email. So we got one more email here. So what do we want to look at? Going to the TLT. As we said, we were getting up into resistance levels out here in this gap. And I can say that, yes, you're probably, I'd like it a little bit bigger out here, but you've got a nice reversal signal in the candles on the TLT today. Could they be a little bit bigger? They could. Could it close just a little lower and make that a little bit sweeter? It could. But it does kind of look to me like you got to the top. You didn't really blow out the volume, and you've kind of reversed out here. I have not looked at the dollar in the last little bit, so let's pull that up. Okay. Later. Let's go ahead and go to, what is it, Forex? Yeah, and the DX. So 106.17. I mean, really, you've done nothing but go back higher today. Probably the best thing about gold is that it's held up fairly well in that nice move from 105. Is that right? 105. Whew. That is strong. Let's take a look at gold on that. Yeah, got a little bit of an inside day. It could be far worse, and it has been in the past for selling. So I'm not that dire on gold here so far. But, yeah, like I said, I'm looking for a pullback to like 163 on GLD to set up the next ABC. So you may get that. But 106, let's call it 106 and a penny right now on the DX. or the DXY. We'll return in a minute.
Vista Gold owns and operates the largest undeveloped gold project in Australia, the Mount Todd Gold Project. Vista Gold just completed their feasibility study, resulting in a 7 million ounce gold reserve. Vista Gold has all major permits approved and has retained CIBC capital market assistance in evaluating alternatives and in completing an accretive transaction. Vista Gold trades on the NYSE American and TSX under the ticker symbol VGZ. Vista Gold, executing a strategy to create shareholder value.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Everything in the universe is governed by the Fibonacci sequence. This mathematical principle is responsible for everything from the most aesthetically pleasing artwork to patterns in the stock market. To stay on top of stock patterns you can take advantage of, sign up for the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter at TFNN.com. When you subscribe, you'll get a weekly report from veteran day trader Larry Pesavento on stocks you need to pay attention to. And you can trust Larry's analysis. After all, he's got 45 years experience as a day trader. Larry will also provide daily charts, videos, and data on the key markets that he's tracking. Expect notifications from Larry on market movement you need to act on at any time. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. Subscribe to the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter today. TFNN.com, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den. Hosted at Discord, TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
After the bell tonight, we look forward to Starbucks. And that comes out at 4:10. So you still have a little bit of movement in there in the futures, I think to 4:15, right? PayPal, Gilead, Occidental Petroleum. Oh, Ryan reminds us that there is a company called Gusto. It used to be another name, but they changed their name in 2015. I've never heard of them, but they are there. Again, other companies tonight: Advanced Micro after the bell, Pioneer Natural Resources. So you could have a little bit of SMH action, pin action going on. Of course, tomorrow before the bell, we've got CVS Healthcare. CDW, Regeneron, Dish, Modern Era, as we brought up earlier in the show. Okay. I don't think there's enough to really move the markets as much as we think after the bell tomorrow night. We've got MetLife, which they're always down here with the MetLife dirigible. Allstate, a lot of insurance companies in the next few days. So I don't know if much is going on in there. eBay after the bell tomorrow night. I don't know, does that probably move anything? Don't think so. Clorox, Mercado Libre, that generally has some good pin action after earnings tomorrow night. And MGM Resorts International. So do we have some action? Yeah, enough to really change anything going into fund buying closing tonight and tomorrow? Not really. And just kind of stuck at what is fairly significant resistance at these levels in the S&P. Sell when you can, not when you have to. We'll return like a bad rash tomorrow.
Building wealth trading in the stock market seems